Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren. I am your resident intuitive baddie. And today we will be doing a read from your subconscious. I wanted to use the Mystical Dream Tarot deck because I am still learning this deck. So, what a better read to do than a read from the subconscious? Dreams are all about the subconscious, and if you've been following my channel, you know that I do a lot of work with the subconscious patterning, which link in the description if you want to work one-on-one with me. But yeah, let's get into it. So first, I'm gonna do what I kind of normally do. We're gonna see what stones want to come out. Oh, okay. We got four. So it looks like we have opal. I believe this is green adventurine. We have amethyst. And we have chrysocolla. So what can I tell you about each stone? I'm going to get better at that. I don't think I'm going to get into it today just because I'm not prepared. Or, you know what? Give me a second. Okay, so that was a second for me. And I just decided to look them all up. So, opalite is a stone of transition and communication, which is beautiful for the fact that this is a subconscious reading. Green aventurine is about it's kind of looked at as the luck stone or an opportunity heart aligned luck. It's a stone of opportunity. A lot of people look at it as that. I've always kind of looked at it as a symbolism for money, but it's more about alignment, which can bring money. Uh, we have amethyst, which is about intuitive clarity. Because it's purple as well, it just aligns a lot with the crown chakra. And chrysocolla is it's it's all about the voice. It's the stone that I like to bring around when I'm doing something that involves a lot of speaking. And so it helps with authentic expression, I'd like to say. So altogether, that already reads as some sort of transition into your your heart being a little bit more prepared for a clearer intuition and your voice being ready to use, or your voice being ready. So let's see if that shows up in the cards. I think I'm gonna pull three. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to be clarifying with this deck or if I'm going to do it with traditional tarot. I'm just gonna play by ear. All right, so we have the Ten of Wands, the the Master of Secrets, which is their version of the Magician, and Judgment. This was actually in reverse. For now, I'm going to not pull reversals just because I am still learning this deck. So let me see what we got here first. Okay, so Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is pretty much about the ending of burden. As you can see here, this is giving Christ. So, okay, so we got some swordfish here at the bottom. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the moon and the sun, and I'm not entirely sure what type of is that a bird? Let's you know what? Let me pick this up. Let me pick this up and That looks like it could be a bird. You have mountains in the background, which suggests some sort of journey. Let's see. He is tied here on this raft looking thing, just in the middle of the ocean. This raft looking thing that looks like a cross, just like the cross that Jesus bore. Um, I grew up Catholic, but please don't make fun of me if I get the story wrong. But I know that in the story of Christ, he had to carry his cross, the cross that they were going to nail him to, before he resurrected. So this is giving just before the resurrection. And the Ten of Wands in traditional tarot pretty much talks about how it's basically about putting down the load that you've been carrying, the burden that you've been carrying, because by carrying so many of the wands, it's heavy. And 10 is all about completion. It's about that being done. But yeah, by the looks of it, he's tied to the cross. So it's kind of like giving this energy of just before things are done. And then we have the magician, which I've pulled this card before, so I do have a little insight here where it has a lot to do. He's okay, so he is in a cavern, a cave. Oh my god, why did I say cavern? Um, I forgot again what these are called, but the way that these little things, these spikes are formed is the water drips down from the cave and then it mixes with the dirt and it kind of just like piles to make these spike things. So those are coming from the top down. There's something about his soul and then the light illuminating on what looks like a map from the outside. So I believe the last time I read this, I read it as the resources or the not like the knowledge coming from source because it's coming from the outside and it's coming from this light, but it's ignited with the soul. You have all the tools there in front of you. I remember I got confused a little bit with the four things here because in the traditional tarot, he has each of the suits in front of him. But because this deck is a little different, it's hard to tell. Like, obviously, the cups are the cups, but let's see, you have a rose. This looks like a tiny mountain, and then you have this map. So I'm not entirely sure which suites those are all supposed to be representing. It's kind of confusing to me because that would give us a little bit more insight. I'm still going to do my best not to read the book just because I do really want to purely go off the symbolism. And then Judgment, which I've also read before. Okay, so there's something about vulnerability here because they're both naked. We got koi fish in the pond. There's this shape that looks like an eye with the moon, and I think this is the sun. So we have this figure that looks kind of like the devil that's in at the bottom arch, but at the top we have this figure up here. I don't know if that's supposed to be an angel of some sort, but she's right in front of the moon, so she's connected with the moon. And then I think these pillars look like they're supposed to be snakes. They kind of give like a swan kind of vibe just because of like the long looking neck, but I'm assuming that these are snakes because it's just the long body of them. but judgment. So since this is a subconscious reading, this has to do with judgment of yourself. Okay, so let me get them all together. We got burden, manifestation, and then judgment. So what this could be is maybe you've been carrying a lot of burden when it comes to trying to manifest something. And I'm hearing something about time. I'm okay. So what I'm drawn to is again with with this kind of giving the vibe of Christ. I believe did he carry the cross for the 40 days? I know. Oh man, nobody show this to my youth group leader because he's. I'm trying to remember the stations of the cross. If it was I know that there's like 10 stations of the cross, but how long did he carry the cross for? I mean, one moment. Oh, literally less than an hour. Okay. All right. No, the I think the 40 days is something else. Cuz I yeah, I'm thinking I know that there's like 40 days of Lent, so I had assumed that that's how long that he had to carry it, but yeah, it says that he had to he only had to carry it for a short portion of the path, so it was less likely than an hour. Because what I was going to say was that if he had carried it for a long time, that could be synonymous with you, and even though that's not the story of Christ, apparently, that is what I'm getting is just that you have carried something for so long. You've been carrying, I guess, the weight of this manifestation for so long. And now that you're at the end, it's just like you are just at the port or at the part of your story or your journey where you're about to be resurrected. So yeah, going back to judgment, I'm getting something about how you might have judged how long this has taken, and but now you realize you realize that everything that you went through and the time that it took to get to where you are now was all to prepare you for the new version of yourself that you're going to be becoming. So, what is laid up on the cross is actually an old version of yourself. Ah, how interesting. Okay. All right. You know what? I will clarify using this deck because I think this is more fun. I do think it's more fun to just try to get the symbolism from the cards and read intuitively. I mean, that is what we're supposed to be doing, right? Am I going to take it in reverse? No, I am not going to take it in reverse. Ooh, okay. Got a lot of purple going on in these. Okay, so clarifying the 10 of Wands, we have the Four of Wands, the Two of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. Wow, all Wands. So this all has to do with action. Action. I was going to say burden again. passion. You can also looking at it as a career, or like why do I want to say working with your hands? How interesting. All right, so with the Four of Wands, the Four of Wands is typically a celebration card. And that does look like what's happening is that they're all gathering for this person. But there's something here about taking the longer path. I think that, like, I would like to say that this represents you taking the longer path to get there. The road less traveled. That's what I'm getting from this card. And there's something about the fact that these people are coming empty-handed, but you have something. It's like because you took the road less or the road less traveled, even though it was the longer path, you have something to show for it. Two of Wands is typically a should I stay or should I go type of card. It's like a decision card, but here this is a very interesting card. So she's in bed. She's clearly dreaming, but by the looks of how she's in the bed, it doesn't look like this is like she's had a good sleep. This looks like some a decision or something that she has been mulling over. And I'm assuming that it has to do with something to do with the future, or something to do with a dream, or something that is more realistic going back down. I'm getting something about being haunted in the past, just because, or haunted by the past, just because the way that the blanket that's wrapped around her is kind of tailoring off down. It almost seems as if externally she's used to whatever is trying to bring her back down to reality, but I feel like just because her head is here, that she wants to follow her dreams. And the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is typically a messenger card. This is very different. We have these crystal like things that look a little bit like mountains. And we got this mummified thing that is sending out, or the energy is wrapped in this like mummy, whatever this is. And then it's connecting to her. And this seems like energy that is, it looks like it's resting at her solar plexus. That's what it's giving. But I mean, you can also look at this. Ooh, ooh, something about. I know that Eight of Wands usually has to do with movement too. So maybe that motorcycle that just went by is a little bit significant. Something about movement. Um, but yeah, that solar plexus looking energy is synonymous with where she's standing, and she's looking down at it. Interesting. Hmm. Maybe it's like messages from something that seemed dead. I want to look up The symbolism of mummies. Okay, so mummies symbolize immortality, resurrection, and the journey to the afterlife, the journey to what's next, which again very much ties to this resurrection energy. So how does this all clarify the ten of wands? Let's see. So your burdens. You ended up on this journey alone, but you do have something to celebrate. I'm drawn to the fact that this the shape of I don't know what this is called, this gazebo looking thing. It has the same kind of point as the arch here. So it's giving that you did choose to go through the arch, and it was a journey. It was a journey on the road less traveled. Like you definitely didn't step down here. You decided to go on your own, and now there is just there's almost this invincible energy that comes with it. Because again, I'm getting the resurrection energy. It's like it's giving you life force. You're moving with this sort of life force now that you've completed the cycle. Okay, let me move on. Let's move on and clarify the master's secrets, aka the magician. Like, how do I want to? Okay, let's do it like that. Just so we can have some room here. I can give me three for the master of secrets. Oop. All right. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the Lady of Cups. How interesting. So here we had all wands, which is just all passion, all working, all action. And now when it comes to and that's about like the journey, I think, and just carrying out the action, I want to say. But then when it comes to to clarifying the manifester or the magician, master of secrets, you have all cups, it's all emotions. You've been leading with your emotions when it comes to actually bringing your manifestations into being. So the Eight of Cups is typically about walking away from something. Here we have the dreamer or you being swallowed by this fish. Let me. Okay, so fish Fish are often tied with prosperity, which makes sense. I don't know if they have this in other places in the world, but there is this buffet in Canada called Mandarin. And a lot of the mandarins have these koi fish river things at the entrance. And typically people throw money. I don't know if they still allow that because I don't think it's good for the fish. But that's what people used to do is they would throw coins into the fountain. And that's kind of what it's reminding me of right now, especially even with the green. So um they also represent emotions as well, just because they live in water, right? But you're being swallowed by this. If you look really closely, she's as she's being swallowed, I hope this focuses. She's closing her eyes. And it almost looks like she's swimming through it. Interesting. Maybe she went in willingly. Oh, it's reminding me of, you know, have you ever had one of those times where you're supposed to jump into a pool but you don't really want to, but you close your eyes to do it? It's giving that. So maybe there's something when it comes to your emotions or in prosperity where, which is funny because this is usually about walking away, but what I'm how I'm kind of seeing it is jumping in, jumping in scared, but jumping in. And maybe you could look at it as walking away from whatever you were scared from. Like if you're the type of person that fears abundance because maybe you feel like people will treat you different or people will start taking advantage of you. It's like you've decided to let go of the fear and just jump in despite the emotions. Ooh, I think that's what it is. I think that's what makes sense to me. Four of Cups. So Four of Cups typically has to do with like apathy and just feeling bored almost. So we have these four angel looking things and they're all connected by the spindle. Um so you have the spindle here, the spindle holder. I don't know what the hell this stick is. Got the infinity sign here. And then scissors. Like this one wants to just cut it. And all of their eyes are closed. There's something pure about this as well. The fact that they're all wearing white. Boredom. Maybe you've tried a bunch of different ways. In terms of manifestation, maybe you've tried a bunch of different ways to get this done or get this going or oh, you know what? The fact that that these are all cups clarifying your like the manifestation energy, it kind of it just kind of gives that maybe your emotions have been in the way to a degree. So this is reminding me of myself, in terms of how sometimes I have a lot of ideas and sometimes I just try a bunch of different things, but it has to do with focus, like focusing on one thing. And mm, these three have items that are like physical. They're holding actual items. Whereas the last one, where the string is just tied in this infinity symbol, um, it's it's reading to me as, I'm so sorry if I'm moving the card too much. It's reading to me as trusting in the infinite, trusting in the divine, trusting in what you can't see, just because again, she's holding on to the rope here, but she doesn't actually have an object like the other three. So maybe it has to do with that. Maybe it's been having to trust in what you can't see when it comes to the Four of Cups, and just waiting for something to show up because yeah, you didn't have anything tangible to go by, but I mean, if you're here, then you know that oftentimes it's the trust in the unseen that really that really moves things. Trusting your intuition and just allowing the universe to co-create with you rather than feeling you had to do it all yourself. All right, so I believe the ladies are representative of the queens. So the Queen of Cups is somebody who is in divine flow. It's somebody in tune with their emotions, which can also be represented by the koi fish. This is a very beautiful card. I love how she's like wearing this green, she's picking the flowers, but it's just also like she is flow. She is literally, oh sorry, she is literally flow. See, sometimes I have to make sure that I'm checking the camera. And the fact that we have the moon here also signals towards intuition. But yeah, it's like she doesn't have to be in the water to be connected to it. Okay, so altogether, when it comes to your manifestations, you've just had to really take that. That's so funny because it's not the fool, but it really is giving leap of faith. Leap of faith towards what feels right, what feels abundant to you. Yeah, we have the fish on both sides, and trusting the divine, trusting what you can't see, what's in your soul, and just going with the flow, becoming a master of that flow. I believe out of all the queens, I mean, quote me if I'm wrong. I sorry, don't quote me if I'm wrong. But I believe that the the queen of cups is the most feminine out of, or the most in tune with the feminine, just because femininity is all about emotion. So it is really giving, just really being in touch with that feminine side of you. That's really what's being called. Okay, and let's clarify the judgment here. What have you been judging yourself for? So we have lovely Ten of Cups, the Priestess of Dreams, which I can only assume is the High Priestess. I might double check the book for that. And we have the Nine of Swords. Ooh, okay. So Ten of Cups in traditional tarot, I always look at it as the happily ever after card. Here, okay. So we have this egg-like figure. We have this a cross again. What is that? Is that supposed to be? I'm so sorry. That just looks like dirt. Is that a pile of dirt? And then we have the scales here, but and then everything is connected to the moon. Got a little fire here going, some trees. This looks like kind of like a swamp. What is going on in this card? Okay, so balance. That's so interesting that it's just giving so much earth. There's there's no actual water in this card. Hmm. This card is confusing the hell out of me, to be very honest with you. I'm going to read from the book for this one. Okay. A little too far. Peace with one's place in life, public recognition and honors for community work, a person who is open minded and accepting of various beliefs and worldviews, family, friendship, and life attain security and fulfillment. Okay, that makes okay, I can kind of see that. So it's like a balance of okay, and that's why the cross is there for different religions. So it's kind of giving so what was that? Peace and harmony? Peace and harmony within all these things. Wow, interesting. I still don't understand this egg imagery. I mean, what came first, the chicken or the egg? So maybe this has to do with again that well tens again are completion energy, right? So it's kind of like going back to the beginning of the cycle. I think that's why I'm having that analogy in my mind. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Because it's like the chicken gives birth to the egg, but the egg is where it started, right? So, I mean, what a question. I would assume that it was the chicken that came first, by the way. But I could be wrong. Well, that's one of those ones we'll never know. But either way, it's like the completion of and harmony of some of like something in your life. I'm getting of yourself. Something about coming home to yourself. Ooh, what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first? Hmm. Okay, so the Priestess of Dreams, which I'm pretty sure is the High Priestess. Let me just double check this here. Priestess of dreams. Yeah, the high priestess. So the high priestess is typically someone very intuitive, somebody, I was gonna say, who knows it all, which is very interesting. So this imagery here, where okay, so part of her dress, this part of her dress looks kind of light. It's flowing with her, but then above her is like this intertwined darkness. And then you have all these stars, all these lovely stars. And then she has this book here, which is kind of giving like sacred knowledge. I don't know why I feel the need to point out the fact that she's a redhead. There's something I should know about redheads. Oh, fiery. Somebody with a fiery passion and yeah, intensity, somebody who's bold. And again, we're clarifying the judgment. So that kind of tells me that you are oh my God, fiercely following your intuition. Whereas in the past, you might not have. In the past, you might have. Okay, so I did read this as you judging yourself, but by the standards of other people. So it's like if you were surrounded or grew up around a lot of people who didn't listen to their intuition, then you might be inclined to judge yourself because you feel that they would judge you, even if they maybe wouldn't. And that kind of makes sense with this Nine of Swords here because the Nine of Swords is all about overthinking. It's like thoughts that keep you up all night, right? Which, yeah, she is literally standing. That's so interesting that she has ooh, the little Red Riding Hood on her. What's the story of Little Red Riding Hood? It's like gonna go see her granny. The wolf eats her granny. Was there a significance of her hood? Well, I mean, you can look at this as her being cloaked. So the story of Little Red Riding Hood itself has to do with innocence. Um, it's like a coming of age story because it's like transition into puberty apparently, and the dangers of temptation. Ah, so being tempted by your thoughts, being tempted by the dark thoughts. It's so interesting that it's like hovering over her. We have the two windows here. Only one is showing you the moon because I mean obviously why would it show you another moon? Ooh, if you look really closely here, this looks like a person. Are you being haunted by a person? Well, I mean that can go back to the whole judgment thing where it's like if there are other people who other people's opinions that have been in your ear and that kind of has been influencing how you think, then it could be what is leading you to judge yourself. Okay. All right. So now I think I'm going to pull some oracle just to. I'm like, oh, should I pull some oracle or should I pull a few more of these cards? Okay, wait. First of all, I want to see if I can lay them all out. I just want to also see what colors we're getting a lot of. So, okay, we have a lot of we have a lot, we, blah, blah, blah. We have a lot of purple, a lot of dark blue, a little bit of light. These colors are a little bit light, but yeah, for the most part, it's a lot of purple and a lot of dark blue, which gives crown and third eye. But I mean, that could just be the whole deck because which makes sense for this deck because this deck is about dreams, which would allude to the higher chakras, expression, emotion. Yeah, a lot of sense. All right, so I'm going to pull now from the Mushroom Spirit Oracle just to get, I don't know, maybe some advice moving on. If this is the energy. So, what is the subconscious looking for next? Regeneration. Ooh. Shine. Ghost mushroom is really fitting as well. Okay, there's two. Oh, amethyst, zebra deception, and fertility. Okay, so you are in a rebirth mode. You are regenerating right now. If there was a point in time where it just felt like if you have been in a season of shedding a lot of old beliefs, just shedding a bunch of things that you've carried with you up until this point. It's time to let it go now. It's time for you to shine. It, yeah, it's just time for you to let go of that deception because this is a fertile time for you. This is a time that everything is working out for you right now, or it's just a potent time for everything to work out for you. But yeah, you have to let that regeneration process happen, this rebirth process happen that you have going on here. Something coming up is a conversation I had literally earlier today where he was talking about the person I was talking to was talking about how I think it was during COVID that a lot of doors had shut for him only for better ones to open, and that sorry and that a lot of people, he was saying basically the story that he was telling me was that he was already kind of on his way out within a certain career, but it was one of those things where he didn't really want to, he was just kind of scared to let go. in a sense, but then because of COVID shut the door for him. So what this is giving me is that it's time for you to regenerate. It is time for whatever you lost or whatever had to be cut away, whatever was causing this deception. It's time for that to to fall away now. It's time for you to shine because again, this is a fertile time for you. This is a time where what you do matters because what you put your energy into is going to grow. This card is such a funny card. I always now I can't stop thinking about this card. I'm gonna put them down now. um but yeah, stop judging yourself. Stop allowing people of the past, people who yeah, give that deception energy or whether it's because whether it's because they just don't want you to succeed or they fear your success because they haven't had success in whatever it is that you're doing. Don't let that stop you. It's fine. If people fall away, you will get new people. The new people will also regenerate along with whatever parts of you are supposed to regenerate. It's it's this I guess it's the sentiment that you will never be left with nothing. Like you will always be taken care of by the universe. It's really just about how you choose to look at things. Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is a good place to leave the reading. I really hope you enjoyed this reading and that I didn't ramble too much here or that I did a good enough job of reading the cards. If you'd like to do a one on one reading with me, you can also find out how to contact me in the description for that, if not for one on one coaching work. Other than that, I want to just thank you for being here and for listening. And until next time, bye.